applications of the natural language processing. Since we have talked so much about our natural language processing, so we should understand where can we apply this natural language processing nowadays. You must have heard of chatbot, Apple's Siri, Google Assistant, and Amazon Alexa. These are the most famous example of the chatbot. We offer the instruction to them into our natural language and they perform the activity according to that. So a chatbot, it is a computer program that stimulates a human-like conversation with the user or the program. While the consumer application of chatbots, they are more talked about. Enterprise C, specific values in finely honed chatbots. These chatbots, they have become, we normally can use them for doing our household activities. Like we can ask our Amazon Alexa to switch on the lights of our room, to switch off the lights, to switch on the geyser. So small household activity we can perform using these chatbots. And today our enterprises, they are seeing specific value in these fine-tuned chatbots, that how can these chatbots become beneficial for the different growing enterprises. So chatbot is what? It is a computer program which simulates a human-like conversation with the user or the program. The few examples of it are Siri, Google Assistant, and Alexa. So this is the most common application of our natural language processing. Second application, that is sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis means analyzing the sentiment of a person. The process of understanding the sentiment or the context of any content, whether it is a text, it is a video or an audio. If we are trying to do that, we should understand that human emotion is complex. We all have different, as a human, different emotion. So these emotions, these sentiments have to be analyzed. Slangs, the sarcasm and inherent ambiguity in using the positive or the negative words, negation. These make sentiment analysis more difficult, more challenging. So basically sentiment analysis, it is a process of understanding the sentiment in the context of any content. If something is being written, if we read an article, to analyze the sentiment behind it and to respond to that accordingly. That is another function that our natural language processing can be used for. Another application of natural language processing can be question and answering. A question and answering system, it is an information retrieval system which automatically answer the questions which are asked by the user in natural language format with the grammatical and the lexical rules using a pre-analyzed database. Question and answer, it is a hard problem to solve and certain paradigms about it need to be understood. This question answer system, basically, if we are talking about, it is an information retrieval system which automatically answer the questions which are asked by the user in the natural language format. They have certain rules, some grammatical and the lexical rules which are being fed into some pre-analyzed database. But we have to understand certain paradigms about it. First is the knowledge base. Structure the data source using the natural language processing machine learning technique in such a way that it can retrieve, it allows us for the retrieval of the answer. For that purpose, what do we require? We require a knowledge base. That means for structuring the data source using the natural language processing machine learning techniques, in such a way that it allows us to retrieve the answers from it. That is where we can apply this knowledge base. Second is answer generation. Now, applying the natural language processing techniques to extract the answers from the retrieved snippet. That means some proper snippet has been provided to you, and now you're applying the natural language technique to extract the answer from it. This particular process will be known as the answer generation. Question pre-processing. Applying the natural language processing techniques and discern the topic and entities of a question and generate a query that can be related to the pre-structured database. Question pre-processing, that is another paradigm that has to be understood when we are understanding the question and answering part or application of natural language processing. Last one is information retrieval. Retrieving and ranking the answer snippets based on the queries. That is called information retrieval. So basically, question and answering, it is an information retrieval system which automatically answer the questions which are asked by the user in the natural language format. We'll ask certain questions and those will be answered to us. This is another application of natural language processing. What all do we need for it? We need a knowledge base, answer generation, question processing, and retrieving of information. So these all things have to be done when we are understanding the application of natural language processing, that is question and answering. Next application of natural language processing is document summarization. Document summarization, or we can also call it text summarization. It refers to the task of extracting the more critical information in a given large text abstract to generate a short, meaningful synopsis of the same. That means document summarization, extracting the most important information in a given text and making a synopsis for it, meaningful synopsis, short synopsis for it, summarizing it. That is called document summarization. So there are many ways in which our text summarizer is useful, as we can imagine both it for direct consumption of for humans as well as for the computer programs and the algorithm who need to process a large amount of data in a short time. If this can be used, document summarization part of natural language processing, it is very useful for the person who have a large amount of data who want to process it in a very short time. So for document summarization will be very helpful for them. Next application of natural language processing is machine translation. Machine translation means translating a text from one language to another. In machine translation, it essentially brings a computer program to take and input a sequence of words in a source language and then converting it into the semantically correct sequence of words in the target language. We have a particular source language, we have a particular target language. We want our system to translate those words into another language. That is very well used if we are going to some other country. We do not understand the language here. If we are moving to Germany, we do not understand German. So these machine translation, they will serve us as a very helpful tool. We can speak something in English and we can use a machine translation to convert it into German. So this machine translation, it will take as an input our source language. That is, if we are speaking in English, English will be our source language. And if we want our machine translator to convert it into German, so German will be our target language. So this is another application of natural language processing. So we have seen the different areas where we can apply this natural language processing, and this can definitely be done with the help of deep learning algorithm. We can apply this natural language processing in the field of chatbot, for sentiment analysis, for answering to certain questions, even for document summarization and machine translation. So natural language processing, it requires different techniques like syntax analysis and semantic analysis to convert the text into some or to respond to the text that we are speaking in our natural language to some computer generated output. So with this we finish the natural language, the discussion on the natural language processing.